Welcome to Cinema 101 with your host, Kylie,
Yuri,
and Tucker.
Today on our first episode, we'll be talking about Hocus Pocus 2 compared to Hocus Pocus 1.
I've never seen Hocus Pocus 1.
I haven't either.
Well, it's a wonderful movie. Y'all should definitely watch it.
Well, Hocus Pocus 2 was kind of bad.
The first one's a lot better, though.
I don't know. The second one was so predictable and boring the whole time, and I cannot stand musicals, and they were singing.
I did like the beginning, though. It did give a good intro to their past when I haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, I like the intro. The intro was good, but then it kind of got boring and predictable for the rest of the movie.
I'll agree with that. But the first part, it did give a look back into their past and why they became the way they were. But the first part is the first movie is so much better than the second one.
Okay.
It's not as predictable. It's just better all around. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one was just a whole different plot line than the first. Random characters just popped out of nowhere. They didn't even bring any characters back.
They did kind of leave it on a cliffhanger, though, at the end scene credit with the cat. Who was the cat supposed to be again?
There's a theory going around that it's Thackeray Binks, but in the first one, we see Thackeray's spirit leave when the witches die. The theory is that whenever they came back, so did Thackeray.
But I wouldn't know that because I didn't see the first one.
The theory has not been proven, though, so...
It
could just be a cat. It could just be a random cat.
He did the guy in the store said that he was Gilbert said that he was Cobwebs and not
his name was Cobweb. But the theory is that Cobweb is actually Thackeray.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I also hated how they didn't bring back Allison, Danny, or Max, or well, in this case, their relatives because they would be dead, and they just brought 3 random new girls in.
I mean, they did show a relative though.
The mayor.
But why would the reverend's son and sister is the mayor, right?
Paid. And Gilbert was just out of nowhere. No reason for why he brought the witches back. No actual reason.
There is a reason.
It's not a good reason though. I just felt like it just didn't.
He was getting
build
picked on
to the
because he
story
believed in
plot.
magic, and then he saw witches that do magic, and he was like, "I need to bring them back. I love them."
Exactly, but why?
He was kind of
he was a loner.
Yeah.
So a creepy weirdo.
For
He built his whole life. His whole life around.
The first one, the girl who brought the witches back, was doing it to impress somebody. And they brought the witches back. Allison set the candle in the cottage where the witches, well, it's now a store in Hocus Pocus 2, but it was a witch's home back then. And she turned it on there, and that's when the witches came back. And basically they tried to get Danny's little sister.
Yeah, but the guy in the second one, he built his whole life around them before he even met them.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
That's what creeps me out.
Exactly. It's stalkerish.
He's like a fetish or something.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just didn't like the plot of how it all started, why they were brought back, and the fact that they didn't automatically eat Becca and Izzy when they first saw her.
What were they supposed to do? Cook her over the...
they eat the soul of children to remain young.
They could have.
They
had
were
different
easily
characters.
fooled.
They could have had different characters that brought them back.
True.
And then all the modern things just ruined the...
Like the Roombas?
Yeah.
How she flew on the Roombas and how they got out of the salt trap?
I just ruined the whole witch essence of it. Because
there was a girl on a Swiffer.
Yeah. Mary.
No, Mary was on the Roombas, and Sarah was on the Swiffer.
Yeah. And then...
She had a trail of bubbles.
What?
Yeah. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
She had a trail of bubbles.
Yeah, but... It just... I didn't like it. As a person who's seen the first one, it's just a whole different movie. It could be watched as a standalone. It wasn't it didn't continue off of the first one. It just
started a different
movie. And we were told it was going to be a filler for a possible third movie, which at the end it did leave off with.
It did.
A gateway into a third.
But how would
movie.
they carry on with that?
There's another Black Flame.
Yeah, but
that's what brings the witches back.
No, but they disappeared with the twinkly fingers and toes, and
they went to the same place they went to the first time.
They were in hell the first time.
What?
No, they weren't. They were in the ether. That's where they went the second time.
Anyway, we said that it was too modernized. At the very beginning, from the little clip at the beginning showing the past, it goes straight into modern Salem with the song Skeleton Sam. It was quite an interesting little...
Why did they crawl out of the ground?
Crawl out of the ground.
And the second one they did, I thought, they flew out of the ground and there was fire everywhere.
Oh, they split the earth, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's hell.
You just ping-ponged way
It's
back.
The ether. It's the ether. That's what it's like a realm that they go to. That's where they went to the first time.
A realm with fire.
It is a theory.
Ground.
It's a theory that that's where they went to the second time as well.
It's a nice word for hella now.
Whatever.
Okay, we were saying about the modernized. Okay.
From sidetrack, yeah.
Yeah. It was Skeleton Sam, and then it goes into her 16th birthday. About how it was Becca's 16th birthday.
Yes.
And who was her friend? Cassie? No, the other one.
Izzy.
It was like, no, we have to do all the Halloween traditions and all
Her
that.
tradition of doing a sacred circle, which was also what the sisters did back in the day in Salem.
Oh.
When they felt the need to be calm.
Be calm.
In the Forbidden Wood, when they met the first witch, the witch who gave Winifred the book, they were doing a sacred circle. So I thought that was a pretty neat little connection between the three sisters, the three sisters and the two friends, because there was only two when they were doing the sacred circle. But it was pretty neat.
Okay, once they get brought up from the ground doing the sacred circle, it came from ether.
Yes, the ether.
And kind of went downhill because the sisters wanted to have children's souls, so they went to Walgreens.
They have to eat a child's soul before they disappear at sunrise. But in the first movie, they were unable to do that because they were tricked by the three kids, Allison, Danny, and Max. So this time around, they were tricked again, which I thought was ridiculous because, I mean, if they were tricked the first time, I think they would be a little bit more wise as to be more cautious about who they trust, right?
But the fact that they went to Walgreens to go eat children's souls...
Well, they were fooled. They were tricked. Which is what I'm saying. Like, they would have been wiser, don't you think? Because after you make a mistake once, you don't make it again.
Okay, but I've never had a face mask.
But they did trust her, though.
They
trusted her because she said she was a witch, too.
Oh, yeah. She wasn't lying at that point. She didn't know it. But
she didn't know, but she was a witch. That should have been our first clue that she was a witch. I don't know. I didn't like it.
I didn't either.
It was horrible.
It was painful to watch.
As a fan of Hocus Pocus, it was horrible.
As a person that's never seen the movies, it was awful.
Oh, the first one is different. Like, this one was a whole nother movie. It could be watched by itself.
Dude,
you didn't even have to
That was my first mistake. Watching this one does not make me want to see the first one.
Well,
kind of same.
Yeah. If I hadn't watched the first one, I wouldn't want to watch it either. But the first one's a lot better. Y'all should watch the first one.
I'll think about it.
Y'all really should.
I'm not. I can't. I've been scarred.
His eyes cannot take it.
There's no hell. It's an ether.
Yes, it is an ether.
It made me think there was this happy ending, then they go back to hell, or ether.
Ether.
It has a happy ending.
How's it a happy ending? She
sisters...
joins her sisters back in the place that she dreads so much.
She doesn't dread it.
Then why did she come out crying in the second one? She's like, I hated being there.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that part either.
Oh, crazy.
Were we watching the same movie? Because I don't think we were.
Anyway, let's talk about the ending. The fact that they did the Forbidden Magica Maxima.
Yes. And that spell is the spell that takes away the thing you cherish the most.
Mm-hmm.
So it took her sisters.
And they twinkled away by the fingers in their toes.
By their fingers in their toes.
That part is important.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how they disappeared.
It was a whole nother, what do we call that movie? Infinity War? Whenever the...
Thanos.
Yes. When they started disappearing.
Thanos did a little...
Snap.
I think my issue with the very ending was Winifred didn't cry about her sisters disappearing. Like, her sisters are like, she didn't know where they were going. All she knew was that they were gone and dying.
Because, like, if they're the most sacred thing to her, they're the things she cherished the most.
She didn't cry.
Show a lot of emotion.
She didn't cry. She didn't, like, express the sadness.
She's a cold-hearted witch. What did you expect?
She is not cold-hearted.
She loves her sisters.
Yeah, but she was like into them.
Meh, a little bit toxic.
No.
So she cherishes them the most, but that doesn't mean she cherishes them a lot. That's just the thing she cherishes the most.
Well, she cherishes her book a lot, but that doesn't mean she cherishes it the most. She would always choose her sisters over her book.
Well, duh. Because
She did.
That's her coven.
Exactly. So she's
And,
nothing without her sisters.
She does say that, too. Like, she's nothing without her sisters.
Well, yeah.
Because that's the rules. It's the coven. A witch is nothing without her coven, so Winifred's nothing without her sisters.
Anyway, she did not show enough emotion for that part.
Yeah.
And then she begged 3 younger girls
To bring them back.
to bring them back. And then book shows Becca
The spell.
the spell, and they do it. And then she's like, "Are they gonna bring my sisters back?"
And
Well, that part also, I didn't like that because, like, as a witch, and y'all said it, a witch is nothing without her coven, so how was Becca able to perform such a powerful spell without a coven?
She did have her coven. She had her 2 friends.
They're not witches.
Yeah, but they joined together, remember?
But they're not witches.
They shared power. They were like,
Yeah, they did.
So she basically siphoned their power.
Meh.
Because
Meh.
they're not witches, so how...
what if the power maxima went in her too?
I don't think it did, because they had the little shield. Remember that part? Where they all held hands, and...
So basically, what they're saying is that they made Becca out to be more powerful than Winifred, when Winifred was one of the most powerful witches in Salem.
Kind of, sort of, maybe just a little. The thing that made them disappear was the spell. Becca tells Winifred that it's not going to bring her sisters back to her. It brings her back to her sisters, and that's when they disappear.
Yeah.
And this is all at night, like, before dawn and everything. And so, like, kind of proof that they, like, at that moment after Magica Maxima, that they were, like, what? Eternal? Immortal? Whatever. Living forever. Like, at their little cauldron that they did bring back for the second movie, the black flame went out. Like, the fire extinguished.
It extinguishes along with them.
Yes, but they didn't extinguish.
Like, whenever they die, it extinguishes. Like, whenever... In the first movie, the black flame went out whenever it was with... whenever they went away. So, whenever they were tricked, whenever the sun rose, they... the flame went out as well.
Wait.
And it just disappeared.
So if they make a third movie and they do come back again, would that mean Winifred would still have power, that power spell?
In theory, she would.
I thought it, like, got rid of her power, though.
It didn't say that. It was
No.
just sending her to her sisters.
Because in theory, it like the price that you pay to have ultimate power is to lose the thing you cherish most. So if she hadn't left with her sisters, she would still have the power of Magic Maxima, which is why I'm saying that, like, she really does truly care about her sisters, because she got what she wanted, but she lost her sisters. If a person was, like, really, really selfish.
So now she might have what she wanted and still have her sisters if she comes back in a third movie.
In theory, she's supposed to.
Well, that was our first episode of Cinema 101 with Hocus Pocus 1 and 2. Thank you for joining us.